Hey everyone, it is Mona here at Klatch, and today is Friday. That means it is another Coaster Friday. Today we're going to do a fun with food coaster, and we are going to make toast. I purchased this egg shaper. I looked it up 7 years ago with the intention of doing this coaster. So it has been 7 years in the making, I guess. And finally I'm getting around to it. I am excited about this coaster. We are taking a little trip back in time to do it the way I used to do it back in the very beginning, before they had the silicone coaster molds. And I had actually bought this and never ended up using it, but I had always bought it to do a coaster, never did it. And for whatever reason, after I did the waffles, I thought I should really do the toast. I know I have that mold, so I had to find it. We're going to use this to make our toast coaster. And if you remember, I used to use these yellow egg rings back in the day, and we're going to set this up the same way. What I am going to start with, however, is a little pigment powder. I'm using some copper pigment powder, and I'm going to run that on the inside of the mold all the way around, because that will give the color of crust. So if you can see it, it's kind of brown. It's copper. It's copper color, and I'll run it around so it'll look like we actually have a crust. You could get creative with your crust colors, I guess. Okay, and I'll put the excess in here. So I did a lot of experimenting back in the day, and parchment paper seemed to be what worked best for me. And all I'm going to do is run a bead of hot glue around the whole thing, and this will hold it to the parchment paper, because there's not a lot of things that want to actually stick to parchment paper, but the hot glue will do it, and it'll seal the edges so that we can get the resin in there and it won't seep out underneath. And that is key for success for this here. Now, parchment paper, I found, is very sensitive to water, so you'll get a bunch of wrinkles in parchment paper if you put anything that is water-based on there, or if your hands are not quite dry and you get any kind of drips on there. So you just want to be aware of that. I go around once, and then I go around a second time just for good measure to make sure everything is sealed. For this particular project, I'm going to use the fast cast, and I'm using the fast cast because it does cure quickly, and also I wanted a little bit of texture to it. And if you haven't seen my crater coaster, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to mix this stuff up, and I'm going to put a squirt of the unicorn spit in here. Now, last time I only did 1 ounce. This time I have 2 ounces because I'm not sure how much I need to make a decent thickness on this particular mold. So I'm kind of experimenting as I go, but I'll only put like 1 squirt of it in there anyway, of the unicorn spit, and hope it doesn't go crazy with the texture, but still gives me texture. So I'm going to quickly mix this. The fast cast cures white, so you have to remember that if you're ever adding color. Okay, I have it mixed. Now I'm going to quickly put in a squirt of the unicorn spit. And it's going to look really brown right now. Okay, and I'm going to pour it in here. And now it's starting to bubble. So I'm going to carefully just run my stir stick across here, pop some of those bubbles. This hasn't fully cured yet, and it is a little darker than I wanted, so I'm going to do the same thing with a little less unicorn spit, but I'm going to pull this off quick. And here is the side of the toast. See, I should have gone a little higher with my pigment powder, but the actual crust looks pretty good, even though it's shiny. So I'm going to do it again, and this time I'm going to add just a little bit of unicorn spit to it. And I'm going to add the pigment powder all the way to the top edge. Okay, this time I'm just going to add a tiny bit of brown in there, 2 drops. and mix it up, and we will see what happens. So it looks like it might have tiny little bubbles just starting now. And we'll just wait and see what happens. This has cured. I'm going to peel it right off. This is more like the white bread version, and we had a little bit that went underneath, and that's no big deal. We'll just take our craft knife and trim it right off. You can take scissors if you want to, whatever works better for you. If you have any rough spots from cutting it, then go ahead and file that very edge. Just do it on an angle. Smooth it out. And then you have your white toast. Here it is with the crust on the side. This one looks a little bit more like a wheat toast. So you can have a variety. You could try a marbled rye. You can try to put stuff on top of here, but this is what I have so far. And even though this is lumpy, this will still support a glass just fine. Because it seems to be even enough. So I hope you like the toast coasters, and I hope you give them a try. I will have more information about the egg shaper down in the description below. I hope you guys like the toast coasters. It's fun. You can put stuff on it if you wanted to. You could try to do like a little jam on here or something and try that. I didn't try anything other than to make the actual toast. So let me know which one you like best. If you like the one with like the bigger pattern on there, or the one that's just kind of plainer like white toast, because I'm not sure which one I like better. So let me know that down in the comments below. And thanks again so much for being here and for watching. And remember, life is too short not to shimmer, so grab your glue gun and your glitter. Stay safe. Bye guys.